Good morning, welcome to the morning review. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, the 24th of November. For our cousins over in the US, welcome, good morning, and welcome to a great Thanksgiving and happy Thanksgiving to you all. Okay, there we go. Let's have a look at the European markets first, and starting with the euro. So, marginal divergence sitting there on the dailies at the moment. It's of course not a finished bar today, but we've also got a marginal, well, a clearer divergence actually on the euro. Not such a clear divergence, but there is a marginal divergence then on the 4 hourlies on the euro. So, potential for a bit of a bounce off this MIDI pivot here between the R2 and the S2 and S3. When you're looking down, we've got a bit of divergence even kicking in on the hourlies on the euro, so there is the potential for it to have a bit of a bounce here. Daily pivot is above. It's yesterday afternoon's movement there at 1 o'clock really blew the euro out of the water. It's not looking good technically from a trend point of view. There, as I say, there is the potential we could get a bit of a reversal. Whether it just comes back to its 21s or whether it actually makes it back to the daily pivot is another matter. Do I really want to be trading against it? Not particularly at the moment, but things might change and it may look like it's worth the opportunity back towards that daily pivot. Okay, let's have a look at the pound. So a bigger picture of the pound, and it's really it's building this sort of wedge pattern between the daily 50 and my lower trend line quite nicely. It's staying within that range at least, which doesn't necessarily make it easy to trade because there's the direction is sideward pretty much. So it's in a sideward trend or a choppy trend. The range is tightening a little bit on a daily basis, which means eventually it will probably fly again. At the moment, the wedge is pretty tight on this 4 hourlies, and it's struggling a little bit to understand which way it's going. Yesterday, it sold off quite early. We managed to get a long position off of it for part of the trade. It ran up quite nicely, but it's since sold off. Now, again, sorry, it ran back up nicely, should I say. Looking at where we are at the moment, it's, hard to tell where it's going to be going. It's a simple answer here. If we break this 200 moving average to the upside, I would be looking potentially at the longer side, but there's no real clue in terms of overall direction. Break of this 34 it's sitting at the moment may point more to the south side, to the downside. I'm sort of looking at the euro at the same time, and the correlation is not particularly the best, is it? So I think we'd just have to plan. It's not an easy move. Of course, the volumes from the euro, the pound will probably fall as we go into Thanksgiving this afternoon, being a bank holiday. Many of the markets, or most of the US markets, are closed, so tight old one. Dollar yen, pushing on up. Never did come back to its weekly pivot, looking very unlikely to do so now. And the trend is really just running. It's continuing in that trend. Was expecting a couple of days ago potentially a bit more of a rollover, but at this point I think we've got to just accept the trend for now. There is a bit of divergence on the 4 hourly, so that immediately thinks, hang on, perhaps we won't accept that trend, but we'll see. It's nearly up to its R1. For me, I would really need to see a break of this trend. There's no point even really trying to be shorting this too cleverly too early. And it would, if I was looking for it back to the daily pivot or something like that, it would need to be breaking down this end. In fact, you'd almost be looking at a buy into those 21 moving averages, the way the price seems to be holding up all around them. For now, though, it's already moved a good distance, making the targets minimalized, and I'm going to have to sit and leave the euro today, the dollar yen today. Aussie dollar. Well, the Aussie dollar's setting up to me for the short side. It's pulled back into the daily 8 here, failed from that, and currently running south. And at the moment, it's looking like, well, nearly extreme on. We didn't quite get an extreme RSI on the dailies there, but we could well be coming back south again. It's certainly looking erring on the weaker side. It's just unfortunately already just run back to its 21s and reacted off those 21s, but maybe a break again of these lows. We'll see it running lower and through the S1 and beyond. It has got an untouched daily pivot above, so any rallies and break of that 21 would be a target, but at the moment it's looking rather weak. The dollar strength across most of the markets at the moment, and it could bring cable down as well, of course. Canadian dollar, well, it put a daily pivot swing in yesterday to the upside. I mean, we've had the daily bearish one, we've had the daily bullish one now. It is above the 34 moving average. Probably see more reactions to the bullish one than the bearish one. It is pushing on up again. So trend-wise, yep, it's a difficult one to be selling against at the moment. Again, if I was looking, I mean, we got targets below us that technically could be hit, but would need to see it breaking this trend line, preferably before looking at anything. And then we got the 21s to deal with. But a pullback to that pivot is possible, but we'll have to have a watch of the market as it sorts itself out this morning. I will look at oil just briefly here, and it has had a reasonable time up until yesterday when it just flatlined, and today it's flatlining again. There is a meeting of OPEC, I think it's tomorrow, or this weekend coming, so maybe a bit more positive around that. But I noticed Trump has managed to probably throw a bit of dirt into the ointment and suggested that they're going to revive the Keystone pipeline, which will probably mean more surpluses in the US and not necessarily help the case. Anyway, so that's not helping the Canadian dollar, so the Canadian dollar is free to rise at this point further in effect. Okay, that's it for me. I'll speak to you in the morning. Bye for now.